Okay, so it is Afghanistan versus Sri Lanka today. Two teams who are riding high on momentum, who have come off victories against very established opponents in their previous games. Afghanistan absolutely thrashed Pakistan by 8 wickets. Sri Lanka thrashed England in Bangalore, and because of that they have gotten momentum and both teams will be vying for the semi-final spot indeed.
Definitely.
Now the latest news that we have got is that Afghanistan have chosen to bowl, and that is the reason given by Hashmatullah Shahidi is that there is dew later on in Pune. So that is why it is going to be a big situation. The team changes. Hashmatullah Shahidi gave only one change. Noor Ahmed out, Fazal Haq Farooqi in, because this looks like a very flat deck, and that is the reason why he had stated that okay, we are giving 3 spinners and 2 pacers. On the other hand, there are 2 changes in the Sri Lanka lineup. Out goes Kusal Perera, in comes Dimuth Karunaratne, and in place of Lahiru Kumara comes Dushmanta Chamira. Now remember, Lahiru Kumara has been ruled out for the entire tournament because of a thigh injury that he sustained in his spell against England. Now Dushmanta Chamira, who was also initially ruled out at the start of the World Cup, has come back in because Lahiru Kumara is out. But Kusal Perera has not fired, and that is the reason why Dimuth Karunaratne comes in, because Karunaratne will offer you that bit of solidity that you need, and because Afghanistan have opted to bowl, maybe he would give them the perfect start.
Yeah, and I also feel Lahiru Kumara's going out, getting ruled out of the tournament is a very big setback to the Sri Lankan team, because he was the bowler who looked in good form for the Sri Lankans. He took 3 wickets in the triumph they had over England also, and his getting ruled out is a very big setback for Sri Lanka. But not to forget, Sri Lanka would definitely be thinking of an outside chance to sneak into that top 4 because of the form the England side and the Pakistan side have been. They are definitely 5th in this tournament, and they would looking for that one small window where they could just might creep in if they get on to win all the games and reach to the 12-point mark.
Remember, Sri Lanka are the only team that can get to 12 points in this entire scuffle.
Yeah.
Now remember, if Sri Lanka lose today, then India have qualified for the semi-final, because then only 4 teams can get to 12.
Even mathematically.
Yes. Yeah. So 4 teams can only get to 12 points. Sri Lanka are going to play 4 games after this. I mean, you've got one against Afghanistan, then you've got one against Bangladesh also, then India, then they'll be taking on India on November 2. But if Sri Lanka win 3 out of 4, even they are in with a good chance of reaching the semi-finals. Afghanistan, on the other hand, they'll be wanting to win this game, because in the past they have come very close against Sri Lanka, but they have always faltered. So Sri Lanka will be looking to ensure they get the better of Afghanistan. Remember, Afghanistan's games, now it's against Sri Lanka, then they will take on the Netherlands, then they will take on Australia and South Africa. So you would want to win at least 2 of those games to ensure you stand in with a chance of coming into the semi-final. Otherwise, if they lose today, it is all but game over for them, because winning against Australia and South Africa, it is really a big problem. So this is the situation that is confronting both teams. Sri Lanka, if they win today, then the semi-final race then goes on until November 2. If India beats Sri Lanka, that's it. First team to seal qualification. Remember, there are 2 table churners. Table churners, what I mean, matches which are going to come in November. November 1, New Zealand versus South Africa. That is a massive game. And then on 4th, New Zealand versus Pakistan and Australia versus England. Australia versus England, not so much, but New Zealand, Pakistan. If New Zealand win that, Pakistan are out, then your 4 semi-finalists are all but crystallized.
And I think Afghanistan will try to restrict the Sri Lankans for under a 300, because 300 is a total they might not be able to back their batting to get onto. They would try to restrict them to a 280, 270 sort of a total, which they might just be able to go on and chase on, because this wicket looks a belter, and Sri Lanka would exactly want to do that, get a score anywhere near 300, because even they know Afghanistan might just not have that experience of chasing a 300, and when you go on to a 300 sort of a total, even that mental switch when you have it. There's a lot of difference between a 280 and a 300. Maybe it's just 20 runs on the board, but the mental switch which you might have to make, that is a very big thing, and that is what I think the Sri Lankan side would be fancying their chances with.
I kind of disagree with the fact that even if Sri Lanka make 300, it might be safe, because Afghanistan's batters have shown that they can actually play conventional cricket and get to a big total. I mean, 286 against a far more established Pakistan bowling lineup. They made it, and they lost only 2 wickets. And I'll tell you, we'll come to the playing 11s first of Afghanistan. I'll tell you why even 300 might not be safe if Afghanistan's batters get their game in. Because look, all hopes are on this particular individual, Rahmanullah Gurbaz. Gurbaz is giving you the fast start that is allowing the likes of Ibrahim Zadran, Rahmat Shah and Hasmatullah Shahidi to play their normal game, which is to anchor and guide the team towards a victory. If Rahmanullah Gurbaz doesn't fire, then and only then Afghanistan struggle.
That's exactly why I'm saying a 300 total, because once you get to that 300 total, then you just know that you have to get rid of someone like a Gurbaz cheaply, and then I think it's going to be a very easy task for the Sri Lankans to defend that. I'm still waiting for a special from these two who haven't fired with the bat yet in the tournament. They have, I think if they would have fired, maybe Afghanistan would have had one more win, but we haven't seen a Nabi and a Rashid Khan special yet in this tournament.
Which could happen today, because look, you are batting till number 8. Rashid Khan is your bona fide batter until number 8, who, by the way, let's congratulate Rashid Khan, 100th ODI for him. From Afghanistan, playing 100 ODIs or any kind of 100 plus matches in any particular format is a big achievement indeed.
He's changed the face of Afghanistan cricket.
He is Afghanistan cricket.
Yeah.
Let us make one thing clear. The first global superstar to have emerged from Afghanistan when it comes to cricket, it has to be Rashid Khan. The way how he's redefined his bowling, the way how he's starred in multiple T20 leagues all over the globe, yet he's only 25. That is the most scary part in this entire thing. Rashid Khan at this point in time, he can go on to play for another 10-15 years. And who knows the records that he accumulates. It will be staggering. So, congratulations to Rashid Khan for ensuring that he plays his 100th ODI today. Very special moment. But as I had said, everything of Afghanistan's batting depends on Rahmanullah Gurbaz. If he gets off to a good start, Ibrahim Zadran, Rahmat Shah, Hashmatullah Shahidi, even if I say Ikram Ali Keel and Azmatullah Omarzai,
he's looked good.
They can all chip in and play their natural game, which is not to be ultra aggressive, to play conventional cricket. But all that depends on him. If Rahmanullah Gurbaz falls cheaply, then the entire batting order is under pressure. In a chase of 280, 300. What helped for them in the Pakistan game? Gurbaz making good start. So that's why everything is dependent on him, and that's where the problem lies with Afghanistan also. Get him out cheaply, then the entire batting folds up, which is what Sri Lanka will be aiming to do. Because look, this is their batting lineup, as I mentioned. 2 changes are there. There is Patum Nisanka, then Dimut Karunaratne is in, and then you look at all the other things. One more change is Lahiru Kumara out and Dushmanta Chamira in. Now, as simply as I can make it, Dushmanta Chamira holds the key in the battle against Rahmanullah Gurbaz. Because Chamira can get the ball to skid. And remember, he's played in Pune also in the past.
He hits the hard lens also.
Yes. And that is why Lahiru Kumara and all the others who have hit the hard lens, they have had success. Chamira can very well do that also. Get it to skid and also 140 clicks. So that's why Sri Lanka will be very wary of the Gurbaz threat, and they, looking at their batting, the likes of Sadira Samaravikrama, Kusal Mendis, Patum Nisanka, they have all managed to ensure that Sri Lanka are in this position. Remember, they didn't have a great start at all. 3 games, South Africa, Australia, and then you also had against Pakistan. They were undone. This is where these 2 teams will be looking back at their World Cup campaign. What if they didn't make it to the semi-finals? Afghanistan will be ruining that loss against Bangladesh.
Definitely, the first game they played.
How could they lose to that Bangladesh unit now, who are right at the bottom and can't even win against the Netherlands?
But I also would like to appreciate Hasmatullah Shahidi in this. He's captaining the Afghanistan side first time, and I remember the first loss they had against Bangladesh. It was a big loss for them. They lost. They were
156.
And I remember Shahidi saying after that game that he is not going to think about the past results and they are just going to move forward, because teams like we have seen teams which are not, who don't have that much experience, tend to carry that momentum ahead. If they've lost the first game, they'll continue that momentum, but they bounce back, and he has even contributed with the bat. So I'm really impressed by the captaincy of Hashmatullah Shahidi in this tournament.
Yep, and today they showed glimpses of our super fans who are there, the Afghanistan super fans who are eagerly watching us on Sports Today. Thank you so much for giving us all the love. And I remember the likes of Rashid Khan and all. They said we wanted to win against Pakistan. So buoyed by that, they will head into this contest in a very fun mood. And remember, they have achieved what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Afghanistan have achieved what they wanted to do in this, and that is why they are in a good position. But I'm just going to stress upon the fact, the points table now, okay? Sri Lanka with 5 games, Afghanistan with 5 games. Now, these are the only 2 teams that are left with that. If they win either of them today, if Sri Lanka win, they get to 6 points. Afghanistan then will remain on 4 points. They can only get to 10. Sri Lanka are the only team who can get to 12 then. And they have got games against Bangladesh, which they might win. Then they have also got one more game against India, which they are not the favourites. Then, if you want for the 4th spot, it will be a shootout between Sri Lanka and New Zealand. If New Zealand lose their next game against Pakistan, there is trouble, boss.
Yeah.
So, this is the points table that we have at this point in time. So, Sri Lanka will be ruining the fact that they could not defend that 344 against Pakistan.
Definitely, because if that would have done, they would have been at 6 points right now.
Yes, and the win would have gotten them to 8.
And they might just have been in the top 4 by the end of the day.
Exactly. Afghanistan will be ruining the fact that they did not beat Bangladesh. And remember, they had their chances against Bangladesh, but they just they didn't capitalize on it. So, if they win today, they get to 6, which means India have qualified.
Yeah.
Because no other team amongst all this can get to 12. That is the situation. So, if Sri Lanka lose today, only 4 teams can get to 12. India will be in the semi-finals. Yeah. But we don't know in which position they'll be. Remember, 1 and 4 will play in Mumbai, 2 and 3 will play in Kolkata. Now, if Pakistan get to number 4, then it changes. Yeah. India, if they face India in the semi-final, that will happen in Kolkata.
No, if they end up reaching 4th, they'll play in Kolkata only. Because as of now, the 1 and 4 are going to play in Bombay, and 2 and 3 are playing in Kolkata. But if Pakistan end up finishing at 4th or 1st, which is not possible, then they'll be playing at Kolkata, and the second semi-final will be in the Wankhede.
At the Wankhede, yes. So that is the logistics that we'll have to figure out. So remember, a Sri Lanka win today means it's bad news for even Pakistan. Because they will be hoping, looking at the net run rate situation, Afghanistan wins by a slender margin, but they can then overhaul them when they play Bangladesh tomorrow. Pakistan are taking on Bangladesh tomorrow, and they might win that. So that is the reason why 7 wins, 7 matches if you get at least one more win. But Pakistan have 2 crucial games now.
Yeah.
One against New Zealand on 4th and the other against England on 11th. Now, 4th spot is up for grabs between, supposing if that happens, between 4 teams. New Zealand, if results go accordingly. New Zealand, Sri Lanka, Pakistan. These 3 will vie for the 4th spot then. Because I don't see Australia losing to Bangladesh. I don't see Australia losing to Afghanistan.
I think Australia will finish 3rd on this table.
Yeah, 2nd or 3rd, depending. Because even South Africa, they have got 2 important games.
Yeah, one against India and the other against
New Zealand first. So that is why.
That would be a crucial game in terms of the top 4 positioning.
For all these teams, forget England, they are only getting to 8.
Yeah.
Mathematically also they are all but out now. Even Bangladesh, forget that. If they lose against Pakistan tomorrow, they are done. For all these teams from 8 to 5, New Zealand's losses will be cheered very, very loudly because they need New Zealand to lose all their games. And it could very well happen because now there is a dip in momentum. As I had predicted earlier, New Zealand start the tournament well, but there is always a dip when it comes to the fag end of the tournament, and this time that dip could be very, very fatal for their chances. If they scrape through like how they did in 2019, remember they and Pakistan were level on points, but they only scraped through because of a good net run rate, and this good net run rate could yet again save them. So that is the current situation that we have got. So Afghanistan versus Sri Lanka today. We are reaching the fag end. October is done in the ICC World Cup with only one game tomorrow. But then we head into the business month, which is November, where everything will be at stake then. So, Afghanistan opting to bowl versus Sri Lanka. Predictions. What do you think, Shashwat?
I think Sri Lanka are touching the 300 mark and Sri Lanka will end up winning this game.
Okay, so I will say 290. Man, this is a tough one.
It's about heart or your head.
I've been thinking from here only in this entire World Cup, and it has served me well. I think Sri Lanka will do it.
Yeah.
Although Afghanistan start as the favourites, let me be very clear about it. On this particular types of deck, with Afghanistan's record in the past against Sri Lanka, they actually start as one of the favourites. But looking at the way how they beat England, I think they have the edge. But Afghanistan, if they win, won't be surprising at all.
Yeah,
Now, no longer.
Yeah.
I think the likes of Afghanistan and the Netherlands should get full status and ensure that they play on a consistent basis against the big teams. That's what this 2023 ODI World Cup has shown you. So, I think Sri Lanka, both of us have agreed that Sri Lanka are winning, but if Afghanistan win, it isn't a surprise.
I think even the game starting with is starting on a same page. It's 50-50 as the game starts.
Which is why I stuttered. I mean, I may want to revise my prediction in the mid innings. I may have to do that. So let's see how it goes. So Afghanistan versus Sri Lanka in Pune at the MCA Stadium. On first, also you're going to see a crucial match at this venue with New Zealand taking on South Africa. Afghanistan and Sri Lanka are 50-50 at this time. I say Sri Lanka. Shashwat also says Sri Lanka. Let's see how it goes. So, thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live. We'll be back with more updates on sports today. Tap that bell icon so you know when we go live. And don't forget, we are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. From me and Shashwat, it's bye-bye.